our start hasn't been great, the second half. So opportunity to fix certain areas of our game that I think are extremely important. There was a lot of injuries, and then we had suspensions, and then players moving. So I don't think the focus, concentration was there. So I think the FIFA break came at a good time, because we needed to try and work on certain areas of our game, try and get certain players back fit that were key for us prior to the break. Some new signings to make them obviously more aware of our expectations of them and the way we play. And yeah, like you said, it's a game against Chiefs, and players should be highly motivated, knowing that it's a big club like that.
And obviously Athlone, getting your second home, back to your second home stadium.
Yeah, unfortunately we're having to go to Athlone because DHL Stadium is not available, but we would have obviously preferred to stay at DHL. But it is what it is. We go to Athlone, and hopefully the pitch will be in good condition. Last time I checked, it wasn't in great state, but I think they've had 4 weeks to try and get it ready for the game.
You mentioned obviously some of the new players and players coming back. Do we have any updates on guys like Nyama and who are on the side?
Yeah, Tseko Nyama is still going to be quite a while. Unfortunately, we sent him for a second assessment, and that doctor obviously said he needs to be out for even a longer period. So we think Tseko will probably be only available towards the end of April. So that's obviously a big loss, but at least Darwin is back now. So he's been training fully for the last week and a half, 2 weeks. He's looking in good shape, so it just gives us one more option that we didn't have before. And yeah, so no one else. Everyone's carrying a little niggle here. Kutumela's carrying a niggle. Mark van Heerden carrying a bit of a niggle. Keanu Cupido. But, at least during this period, they've had the opportunity to take a bit of a break, a bit of a rest period, to try and recover in time.
Coach, a big game that may be coming at the right time, considering the start you mentioned, it was not a good start after AFCON. Chiefs, you have a good record against them. Does that at least help that it's a big game that can give players confidence, and you have a good record against them?
I think so. Obviously, it's the world of sport. You can have 2 draws, 3 draws, and then you lose. Now, you haven't won in 4 games. Or you win, or you haven't lost in 4 games. That's how quickly football can change. And the way the media interpret things. So important for us to look to try and get back to winning ways, and no better team to do it against than Kaizer Chiefs. But I think they're a different team to when we played them at the beginning of the season. And it's not going to be easy. It's going to be tough.
You mentioned obviously the way that the beginning of your form at the beginning of the season, but nothing much has changed necessarily on the table. The gap is...
Yeah, exactly. Well, for me it's changed because we set ourselves targets and objectives, and we haven't achieved that. So for me, that's the disappointment. But yes, the fact that we're still in it means we are fortunate, so we got to take advantage of that fortune that we've had, that we're still there in the top 4. So we've got to keep pushing, and like I said before, it's game by game. Collect the next 3 points, try and get to that 40-point mark as soon as we possibly can, and that's got to be the target and the objective, because we see ourselves as a top 8 team, we see ourselves as a top 6 team. So we've got to try and reach those targets and those objectives, and the sooner we can do it, the better.
And obviously, like you said, last time it was Molefe and Thurkey's Chiefs that you played.
Exactly.
Now you're playing Kevin's Chiefs.
Yeah.
Have you noticed a distinctive difference in the way they're approaching the game?
Yes and no. I think they're still a team that's extremely dangerous on the counter-attack. They've got a lot of speed up front, so they look to utilize and play with that speed. But I think certain areas of their game, they still have their issues, that we need to look to exploit, but the threat up front is a massive threat. The speed that they have, and they seem to be utilizing it a lot more successfully right now than what they were at the beginning of the season, because they were also playing more like a counter-attack football, but now I don't think they're a counter-attacking team. They're a team that looks to play through the phases, but they're a team that can go pretty direct, but balls in behind because of the pace that they have, so we've got to deal with that. Make sure that we deal with that and be wary of that. But for me, it's about us now. I think we spend too much time worrying about the opposition and forget about ourselves.